Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Eric, Rex, Bob, Ed, Maurizio, Laura, Larry, Wade, Rosalind. Good morning, Francois, Donald, Robert, Don, and good morning, Jeremy, Ryan, Aaron, Dan, Svenborn, Craig, Brian, Caitlin. Morning, everybody. And if you want to say hey, if you want to chat on the stream with me, like everybody else here, all you got to do, click the button over there. Click the button, be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat on the stream just like everybody else while I'm live. If I'm no longer live, you'll have to leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to reply to you. And I mean, there's always the option to click the expand the more button down below me and buy the $5 market roadmap. Come hang out in Discord and ask your questions there. Now, my least favorite question ever though is thoughts on XYZ. Don't ask me thoughts on XYZ. Tell me what you're thinking, and then we can have a conversation about it. Because my thoughts are probably, I don't look at that ticker. I mean, let's be honest. You've got some sort of vested interest in it. You're interested for some sort of reason, and you know what? I may not even know anything about that ticker. So that's something to. It's not a card. It's actually my kids gave me that um, right there. It's actually not a card. It's actually a block of. It's a desk block. Anyway, got it kind of sitting on the top of the monster. It's very precarious. I probably should not do that, but there you go. Set it like that. All right. Anyway, kind of funny, right? Like having a weird dad builds character, and I do some weird stuff sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, moving on, and coming over. Are we at the ideal target? Do we push on higher? Yes, definitely stretching. How much higher can we go? Look at 6,000 up here. 6,000. If you rewind, gosh, what, 2 years? I've been saying that possibly we could go to 6,000. Possibly. It's not that far away at this point. Only 430 points. That's not far. That's not far. Be ashamed to come all this way and miss it by 430 points. But, the market is stretched. We're setting a record. And I just realized I closed Discord right before I popped on here. 1 second. Let me, that was stupid. I had this thing right ready to show, and then I closed it right before I went live. That was stupid. Always stupid. Anyway, look at this right here. Look at this. This is concerning. Let me pop that away. Look at this right here. You see this right here? We've gone 376 trading sessions. Today I'll make 377 since we had greater than a 2.05% sell off. This hasn't occurred since the great financial crisis. 376. We're setting a record. Every session we go without getting a 2.05% sell off during the session. Now, this is a frequently occurring thing to get bigger than a 2% sell off in the market in one day, one trading day. All right, that has to occur in one trading day. We have to drop 2% or more. It's been 376 trading sessions. Today we'll make 377. That's pretty wild. Pretty wild, if you ask me. Haven't done it since the beginning. It's been over a year, almost two. When you look at the number of trading sessions, there's only like 250 trading sessions in a year. We've gone over a year without getting a 2% or more drop in one single day. Back here in Volmageddon was the last long stretch we had. When vol in the market, implied volatility, VIX, was at just ridiculously low levels. And then we got some spike, and it hasn't been since then, right up until right at the end of 22, and we went on this rip. So this is a cautionary tale. We don't typically hang out in unusual regimes for extreme periods of time, but right now it's a pretty extreme period of time. Why have I been beating the drum that this is unusual? Like, it seems like I've been a broken record for a year and a half now. Well, look at that. We've stretched this up. Along the way, I said, can we set a new record? Absolutely. The market can do whatever it wants to do. It's just not the typical thing. So we're probably in for another one of these periods where we get a lot of very few trading sessions in between a large drop. That could very well, we could very well see that again. All right, very large being more than 2% drop in one day. So just be cognizant that this potential is out there. All right, everybody with me? Everybody understand the warning? I mean, this is yet another warning in the cockpit light. You know, look at the dashboard of warning lights for their operating the market, and it's yet another warning light. You know, how many warning lights does it take before we see the crazy? I don't know. We're gonna find out sooner or later. We're getting a big pullback. This is not going up forever. That's what we thought back here. That's what we think over here. Just be careful. All right, be careful. We're in an unusual situation. You can see, hasn't really been this kind of condition all the way back to 2007. So all I can do is warn about all these things. You know, this market is stretched. Stretch. How long do we stretch without a snapback? Even the pullback we had in July through October last year didn't trigger this. We didn't have more than a 2% in one day. So that's coming. It's coming. One time or another, it's coming. Anyway, there you go. That's the unusual chart of the day, I guess you might say. And moving on. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Imagine that. You put your money at risk. There's a substantial risk of loss, right? Every trade, there's a buyer, there's a seller, there's a winner, there's a loser. Every single trade. Let's try to get you on the right side. All right. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. So just because I predicted stuff in the past doesn't mean I'll ever predict anything right in the future. That would kind of suck because, it's what I do. I make epic predictions. They come true. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument or anything else. Don't buy stuff from me. All right? Don't buy stuff don't buy stocks, don't buy options, don't buy bonds, don't buy Forex, don't buy futures, don't buy cryptos, don't buy treasuries, don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just sharing what I do. And you can come along if you want. I mean, maybe you trust me and I get a few things right here and there. I get lucky occasionally. Every now and then, I get one right on the money. Sometimes I freak myself out. I mean, let's be honest. Sometimes I scare myself with some of these predictions. And here we are. Unemployment claims coming in basically in line, just barely higher. And as I've talked about, that's just a completely crap number. They just make that stuff up, it seems like. Building permits coming in light right there. Probably seeing some home builders coming in light right there. Philly Fed manufacturing coming in way light right there. And tomorrow is the flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI and existing home sales right there at 9:45 after the market opens. 8:30, nothing pre-market for us. It's all the Great White North up there. And then next week, wow, we already wrapped up this week. Hope everybody enjoyed the parades and holiday and all the fireworks shows and all that stuff yesterday. Being sarcastic, sorry. Right there, last week of the month. Last week of the month already. God, where does the time fly? And right there we have it. Right there we have it. Last week of the month. We'll get PCE next week and put a wrap on June. Dang. That'd be halfway through the year. And wrap up the quarter right there. So we've got, this is pretty big right here. This is into the first half of 2024 coming up. Just 10 days away right there. Right there. And then we've got another holiday week coming in on the 4th of July right there for the United States. Another midweek holiday. I'm not a fan of midweek holidays, but we got one. We got them almost back to back here. Like this one yesterday, and then this one on the 4th. And I don't know. Are they going to observe on the 5th too? I don't know. I don't know. Got me. Anyway, um, I think the market's only closed one day on the 4th. And it's probably like one of those weird, like, open till 1 p.m., closed for 5 hours on the futures, but equities and options not open at all, kind of like we had yesterday. And yeah, yeah, that's scary, Don. That's scary. Your dentist telling you to buy Nvidia. You know, I'm telling you, the biggest company in the land is not like it doesn't just keep rocking and rolling higher. Like it doesn't. Like Nvidia became the largest company in the land on Tuesday before we closed out the market, and now here we sit in a precarious position. How long can it hold? I mean, think about it. We were sitting here looking around the office. We were like, all right, how many computers run Microsoft? A lot. And pretty much almost every device had some sort of something from Microsoft. All right, almost every device, even phones and stuff. Then we were like, all right, how many things in this office are Apple? And funny enough, even though we don't use Apple for hardly anything, we had several Apple devices. We had some iPads, some iPhones customers had brought in, some Beats headphones that people had brought in. I mean, there were several devices from Apple hanging around. It's like, okay, how many devices from NVIDIA? Well, that got harder to figure out and harder to count. And we had this studio computer had an NVIDIA GPU. So there was one. My two main desktops that I use for processing aerial photography and AI work, those two had NVIDIA GPUs. Then looking around, nothing else really had anything NVIDIA. Oh, that's interesting, right? I mean, sure, there's cars, there's AI processing chips and stuff like that, but you know, not that many devices around my daily life that have NVIDIA. So, how prolific is NVIDIA? This being the largest company in the land, you would think this would be everywhere, right? Touching everything in your life, but it's not. So, this is interesting to me. This whole situation. It's like, sure, they could be the most powerful, influential company in the land, or is this more like a shortage of this bubble type situation, a shortage of people wanting to let go of their shares, and it's just like, even though there's, gosh, how many shares we got now? I can't even remember the number. It's like 57 billion or yeah, 25 billion. 25 billion shares, 24.6 billion shares out there. So 24.6 billion shares out there worth $135 a piece, and they're pushing higher, like $139 a piece in the pre-market before we open. And did I see it likely to go to 150? Not really, but it can. Just on a shortage of people not wanting to let go. Like, think about it. You got 100 cars, right? If nobody wants to sell their car, everybody needs that car. What's the price of cars? Right? There's nobody making new cars. Right? There's only 10 cars in existence. What's the price of a car? Right? What is somebody willing to let that car go for, right? That doesn't mean that all of a sudden, maybe somebody's willing to sell their car for $100,000. That doesn't mean that all the cars are worth $100,000 necessarily. If somebody's, what's the market cap on the cars? I mean, but all of a sudden, if there's no gasoline or electric power to run the cars, what are the cars worth? So when everybody's a seller, where everybody's trying to get rid of something, the value is low. When everybody's trying to buy something, the value is high. Just be careful. This too shall pass. One day, this whole game will be over. Talked about it ad nauseum. There's eerie similarities between this chart right here and the Cisco chart that we looked at on Tuesday. If you haven't seen that, go back and check it. 30 minutes of awesome. I spent like 15 minutes going through how this chart on NVIDIA looks eerily similar to Cisco circa March 24th, 2000, when we were at the peak of the dot-com hype, bubble, whatever you want to call it. Things are scary, I'll tell you. So, looks like we're going to hit that 5,500 if we didn't already. So close. Did we get it? Did we get it? Right there. 54.99.99. Oh my gosh, that was the high. We're gonna miss it by a penny. Oh, we gotta go tag that. We gotta tag 5,500. There is no way. No way we're gonna miss it by a penny. Everybody see that, right? Everybody see the high? Like right up here when I put, like, look at that. 54.99.99 is the high. That'd be pretty shocking if we hold 54.99.99 and that's the high for the next however long. Oh, there's a sell. ACWI and S5FI. Looks like we closed on Tuesday a little higher with the doji on S5FI, S5TH. Ooh, red candle. Even though things were getting spicy, if we break down, watch out for the bigger flush. Stocks above their 200-day, and S5TH just kind of hanging. This one's a fast oscillator. And there's a buy entry on IBM. Let's go check that out real quick. Oh, man, look at that. Nice pop. Almost. Let's see what we got. The 1 hour chart. It's already been up to the target. I don't know. That looks like it was a buy and a sell all at once. Possibly. We're looking at the bigger picture move. $177, maybe. Ah, there. In and out, same ticker. So yeah, that's what I thought. Already hit the target there. GLD 2016, and possibly breaking out of the consolidation here on gold. Possibly. Got that downtrend of highs. We need to get above that to go higher. So watch out for that one. Rolling back up, rolling with my homies. Checking out the futures, overnight action. If you didn't know, futures were open yesterday. Well, welcome to the conversation. They were open until 1 o'clock. And just kind of churning around a little bit. Just kind of churning around. So let's see what we got. We got a little pop into the morning or early morning here and retracing, showing some softness as the market opens. And we may have made a high. We'll see what happens here. Support right down here at 55.66 and bigger support down here at 5,500. Start getting below that. Watch out below. And for those of you not knowing, ES1 exclamation point on tradingview.com is the S&P 500 futures. All right. If you're on a platform like Tasty Trade, E-Trade, Tasty Thinkorswim, use //ES to pull those up, and you can find the numbers in queue. Back to the roadmap line on the 15-minute, and this is showing some weakness. Support down here around 20,130-ish, where we made this low back on Tuesday last week, or I guess Tuesday this week. So excuse me, it's all a blur. It's all a blur. Tuesday this week. So watch for that low on Tuesday. If we start getting below that, we could take back Monday, and be careful. Russell, on the other hand, looking quite a bit more bearish. This one, we're holding that downtrend. Look, downtrend. Not pushing higher here. If the roadmap line breaks at 2,000, watch out. So, small support zone right here where we had buyers come in back in April. And if we get below that, probably coming down to this first target here, 1,850 area. And you may be like, JT, come on. How do you trade Russell? I've never even heard of that one. It's the RUT right here, which is also tradable with an ETF IWM right here. So watch for that break of the roadmap line on IWM. Get below it. Watch out. We can go on a bigger, deeper retrace. CL breaking out, cruising. First target 84, the ideal target 90 up here. It's 90 area, and then really I want to see it test this 105 way on up here. We break out above that, it's game on, baby. Game on. We're probably going up here, triple digits, well up into the triple digits, that is. Cruising through 105 gets us to 148, possibly 172, and possibly some ridiculous numbers. We won't talk about those right now, but all signs are looking for a go. We keep pushing higher on oil. You could be like, well, like the big thing I was watching for, a move higher than this high right here. Dun, 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 dun. Watch out. This thing can explode higher. For those of you thinking, well, oil is not going to move that fast higher, like they'll do something about it. Look back here. Look back here. We went from 89 to 130 in like 7 or 8 trading sessions right there. You don't think it can move fast? It can move fast. All right. Be careful. Be careful. I'm telling you, be careful. Watch out. This thing can get sparky really quickly. All right. Gold. This one's interesting right here. Look at this. Look. Consolidation, drop. Consolidation. Are we going to drop? Or are we going to pop? And we did a consolidation over here and popped. Is this consolidation similar to this consolidation? Then we ramp on out? I don't know. Time's going to tell. So watch for a stair step up and a big decline. That's what I would warn about right now until we get above this high on a daily close. Still potential to drop on down. So it does look positive, but the big but don't lie, and be careful. That's the bottom line. Bitcoin was rallying pretty strongly early first thing this morning when I woke up, but taking it back, just kind of inside candle at this point. Indecision. I still think we might be in for a deeper push because, well, we're getting below that trend line. And BTC, USD on the spot. Some people say, hey, use the spot. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I did a crypto special. If you're kind of like, I don't have my head wrapped around crypto, go watch my crypto thing yesterday. This right here is actually rejecting from the bottom. So we pushed through. We got a daily close on Tuesday. Yesterday, kind of hanging out down there. Today, trying to push back through. Rejecting. If this turns red, probably coming to 60,000. Roger. Watch out for a flush. Just telling you. Just watch out. Watch out. You've been warned. Ethereum, I really want to see this hit 3,200 right here. Really I do. Did you know I want to see it hit 3,200? Yeah, we don't have spot. So spot ETFs got approved, right? Back here. And it kind of got slipped early, and then we announced it that it happened, and then nothing came on the market. So none of them actually came on the market. And so how long before they do? Well, the market's getting impatient. I think we could see a flush down to this 3,200. Hold the roadmap line. That would be positive for higher prices. If we flush down there, hold. I'm going to be a buyer probably. Maybe into something like this, a leveraged Ethereum, a leveraged Ether, tongue tie, a leveraged Ether play. Yeah. Put it that way. I may buy shares in that and see what happens. It's a much lower denomination too, and I mean, you get too much bang for your buck without buying options. So no theta decay. I mean, you got there's other forces working against you, carry costs and whatever, but hey, it's probably better than just buying straight Ether. I mean, there's no leverage that way, and there's no options on Ether, so it'd be a way to play a little bit of leverage. Now, am I suggesting you do that? Absolutely not. Don't play leverage. Leverage is dangerous, right? Leverage cuts both ways. You can lose money, you can gain money. All right, be careful. Leverage cuts both ways. Dollar. Just churning, baby. Right under the resistance. We may see a pop. Intermediate. Of course, we're right at that resistance level where we could get the bigger down move. So this is a definite question mark, if you will. FTNT. I don't remember what that alert was for. Oh, coming into a measured bounce. That's what that was for. Now I need a break above this to get me in. So this is a measured bounce potential. If it keeps flushing, not as awesome. Definitely not as awesome, but another layer down there. So this has a nested pattern, 5 up, retrace, 3 down, potential 5 up, and potential 3 down. If it nests a 1-2-1-2, potential explosive rocket ship type pattern on FTNT. I like it. SMCI. Dun, 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 dun. Getting a little pop into the resistance zone. Are we going to break out and run again? This is interesting. This was a higher low. Breaking into the resistance right there. If we get above it, odds are we're going up to 1400. Don't argue with the price pattern. Know when you're wrong. I'm wrong on the bigger down. When we break above these highs over here, we're going on up before we go on down. We'll go down eventually, just not today. Eventually. It's like I said, when we peaked over here, I was like, buy as long a time as you can if you're looking for the big down. I burned a fair amount of money not buying enough time myself. So stove's hot. I'm not going to play that one for right now. MSTR. Despite Bitcoin's strength, still looks like it wants to reach down to the roadmap line or possibly even down lower. So we've come up, we've hung out in this resistance zone. Gosh, what, for 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks? Bigger flush could be in store. Be careful. ACN. I don't say ACN without thinking about the American Collectibles Network for whatever reason. Accenture coming up. That's still bearish. That's a lower high. Coming up below the roadmap line. Still need the final flush out. That's what that looks like. Can it break? Yeah, it could break. NVDX. Now, all these leveraged NVIDIA things are probably going absolutely crazy as NVIDIA pushes higher to absolute ridiculous levels. The party's going to be over. The crying, it's all but the crying at this point, I think. And we come over here and look at this chart. Look, we're in this euphoria. I'm a genius. We're all a genius. As Don said, his dental hygienist this morning said, hey, buy NVIDIA. You're going to love it. Be careful. I mean, so many people are going to lose money. That's the unfortunate part of all this. Like, unless you get out here in the next couple days, weeks, whatever, till, as long as you get out on the way up, you're fine. If you get out on the way down, especially if we get to this point right here, this complacency, be freaking careful right here. This is all we need before we see whoop. This could last a short time. It could last a little longer time. We see it all the time. See it all the time. So NVDX, be careful. It's leveraged NVIDIA. NVDU, be careful. It's leveraged NVIDIA. Be careful, please. Please be careful, all of you. I mean, this is like, riding the bubble is great. If you're in it long, just pick your spot. Where am I getting out? All right, please have a plan. Please have a plan. Don't ride it all the way up and then halfway back down. I'm not telling you to sell today. Just have a plan. Have an exit plan. And be happy with what you did. I was in NVIDIA back at 150 pre-split. 150 was way down here. We're talking about right here. I was in here. We did the pattern. All right, that was my pattern. Everybody see it? It's kind of my pattern. I was in down here, 150, like $15 now. Out at 300, whatever, 350, whatever it was. So this area where we consolidated. Out here. I was completely happy with that. Haven't been, no FOMO, no like, oh my gosh, I missed another $100. None of that stuff. All right. Moving on. Different things to trade. There's always different opportunities. All right. You got to be at peace with what you do in the market. Sledge has been beating on this for a few different trades. You got to be at peace. It's so much easier to trade when you're at peace with what you're doing. No FOMO, no second guessing. It's really key in this whole thing. If you're going to survive this game long term, you can't be chasing what everybody else is chasing. All right, you can't be like, oh man, there's a gold shiny object right there. Gotta go chase it, right? Can't do that. Can't do that. You gotta be at peace with what you're doing, the peace you take. Hey, look at that. There's one of the experimental market roadmap bounce trades. And just at peace with the Zen. You know, you in the market can be one if you just chill. I mean, there's like 6,000 stock tickers, all right? 6,000. There's 2.4 million cryptos. I guarantee you're missing out on something that's being crazier. I mean, what's crazier than NVIDIA? This one's crazier than NVIDIA. Look at this. NVIDIA's just up 200%. This is up like 400% this year. What? In the same time frame. There's always something crazier, all right? So, not everybody's talking about this one. You could have made more money here. And the opportunity, still giant. I mean, look, this one's not even, like, it's only $9 billion. There's still huge opportunity here. Right? We're not even in the trillions yet. They sell cargo pants. Cargo shorts. There's always opportunity, all right? Don't get caught up in the shiny thing. This one's huge potential upside still. Even with this far up as it's gone. Now, other crazy things. Coco has been absolutely nuts. But that looks like it's doing the complacency cool-off thing before it goes right back down, right? 6 doing this, and it could do like that. So be careful. Chasing things. All right, these are people chasing right now, probably. More than likely, this right here is people chasing. Coco's going higher. This shortage problem, it's not done yet. I think the shortage was already priced in over here. This was probably priced in right there. This is people chasing the shortage. The news is getting worse. Remember how I always talk about the chart pattern, right? The chart pattern leads the news by about 6 months. So this, like, the Coco's probably going to get worse for 6 months after this peak. So right here, probably have horrible news on Coco out to September. This may chop in there, and then the news on Coco starts improving, and this comes all the way back down. All right. That's a question for just go buy CC1 futures. You can just CC/CC futures. You can play Coco all day long, up and down. It's a futures chart. Anyway, it's on the ICE, Intercontinental Exchange. There's crazy stuff to trade. All right. MU. Look at that one. Did you grab a piece of that one? Heard that one in the news? No. Right up to the target. Would I expect much more right now? No, but could go to 230. That's another nice move up. You know, we're looking 150 to 230. I mean, 225, 230. That's another 50% gain on shares. Pretty sweet. DRI. Darden. Having a hard time here. Darden. Look at that. I heard there was a plan afoot to sell off Olive Garden. So, Cory Doctorow told a story about Red Lobster. I thought it was interesting. And he was like, here's the real story of Red Lobster. See, Darden sold off Red Lobster years ago. And the people that bought it were an investment bank. So the biggest problem in restaurants is probably investment banking. Like, what's Red Lobster's problem? It's not the shrimp, all right? It's not that all-you-can-eat shrimp deal. Shrimp Fest, whatever. The funny thing is, the company that owns Red Lobster right now is the shrimp supplier. Are they actually losing money on shrimp? Doubtful. All right, they're just jockeying around. No, an investment bank bought Red Lobster from Darden. What they did was they separated all the property out and sold that to another individual, and then sold off the restaurant business after they raised the rent by twice as much. So all of a sudden, they took a profitable business and made it marginally profit. They basically ate all the margin out of it by selling off that property and then raising the rent and charging Red Lobster the higher rent to the new company that owned the property. They're looking at doing the same thing to Olive Garden. So what was a solid, awesome business, Red Lobster, is now a sketchy business, maybe not able to make it because all the costs. And I thought it was a bit of irony to me that the company that actually owns Red Lobster is the company that supplies Red Lobster all the seafood. They own their biggest customer. I mean, why not, right? Why not go direct to consumers? So anyway, that one, that's not the most bullish chart. That's actually very sideways choppy for, gosh, we haven't gone anywhere for 3 years. Nasty. SMH, semiconductor ETFs, just rocking and rolling higher. USD up here was rocking and rolling higher. We'll see where that all ends up. Eventually, we're getting a retrace as they all go exponential. Be careful. EETH, there's a Ethereum strategy. ProShares, that's going to be a futures thing right there. So as Ethereum traces back, watch for that to touch. I mean, that's what you got. And somebody asked about this one too. ETHE. This is a trust, and it's slated to be converted to a spot, but we're not there yet. So TSM, rocking and rolling. Next target up, 200. Bulls. Finally making it up here. Watch out now. This, another cautionary flag. Watch out for resistance here. Possibly here. Not likely to go rocking and rolling epically higher before we get a large pullback. This is a leveraged instrument. Be careful. Be careful on that one, all right? CEG. That one also looking likely to get a retrace. ELF. Well, rocking and rolling. Let's go. I did not buy anything. I just couldn't do it. I just didn't have it in me. Wasn't feeling it. I'm just going to probably watch and wait. Watch that one hit yet again. HROW. Right up to extension targets. Be careful. One of these days, we're going to pull back. Maybe able to push it on up to this 22 area before we find some major sellers. And if we pop it on through, possibly go on an extension. Possibly. Entirely possible. Doesn't have to stop. It just looks better if we get a pullback and gives us more opportunity. But 33 could be the target on HROW. AMAT. And be careful. That one's definitely getting extended. The participation rate is very narrow here. WestRock showing a little weakness, but we did get another retrace, almost the exact same size, a little bit, slight bit bigger. Could push us on up to 56 on WestRock. BRZU, Brazil. Wow, I didn't even know this existed. Brazil, leveraged. Wow. Reverse split, the last thing it did. Watch out for that one. That looks like we're going to go on a bigger flush. I mean, look. It looks like you dropped a ping pong ball, didn't it? Looks like you dropped a ping pong ball and it was a ding, 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 ding. Be careful. Kroger. That's a lower high. Cautionary move right there. Rejecting from that level. Holding here is positive. So now we're in a big question mark. Big question mark. Do we break down? Lower low, what we made right over here. Or do we break out above this and go up here? That's the big question mark right there. Big question mark. No, wait till it proves it. That's what I would say on Kroger. Right now, it's set up the potential to retrace to a 618 and then set up a bigger down. So be careful. DEO. Yeah, like I said, futures count. Trade Coco. Good job, Ed. Jumping on that one. You think Kroger has earnings? I think it reported earnings on the 20th this morning, which was today. DEO. Diego to the bottom of the target. Can that be support and a measure bounce? This is interesting now. This is interesting now. So we've had the big downtrend. We've holding right here is what we need to see. Breaking back above this is what we need to see next. This could be a measured bounce. And for some reason it's decoupled, which check this over here. Still need to hold that. And this low, this high, this low. Could set it up for a move in this zone right there. Break above this. We have the setup for that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm going to set an alert for that one because I may buy a few shares just to see if I can double my shares. BitX. Looks like we're retracing. Potentially hold the roadmap line. IBM. Potentially go deeper if Bitcoin actually makes it back to the roadmap line. And IBM that fired off that hourly trade. Looks like this daily trade possibly going to rally up to the 177 area, but might take a little bit of time. And let's see what we got. Yeah, sometimes it works. Interesting. Connell. That one looks like, come on back. Come on down here. Right there. That is a leverage on coin. Be careful. Leverage cuts both ways. All right. Be careful. Crypto's not breaking out yet, and that's what we're seeing right here. And this also could flush deeper. Like, I would be remiss if I did not indicate that we could, in fact, see a deeper flush right down here on coin. Something lower than that right there. GILD. Jillian. Nasty chart. We did that move down, retraced to the resistance, and flushing deeper. That could be the bottom, but it might not be the bottom. We could go below 57. MOLN. And that's biotech for you. Be careful. Biotech right there. That's another dangerous potential. AGQ. Silver may rock and roll. Silver yesterday. Holy moly. Anybody see what silver was doing while the market was closed? Trying to rally up off the lows here. Breakouts today. Today moving out hustling. If we can get through this downtrend. Coming up on it. We get through this. 35, 40. Huge upside potential on silver. Watch for that breakout. Set my alert right there at 31. Let's go. Let's go, baby. EMPH. Ooh. JT warned. Watch out. We get below this. Here's where we're going. More than likely. We're going back to this. Right here. We're going back to there. And if we get below that, we're going on down. Going on down. This target's been there for a while. I was warning. This was not bullish price action. It was a fake out. Watch for that right there. Anything lower than this, anything lower than 74.50 completes the pattern. So it could just spike down 70-ish and then take off, but it's not. No bueno. No bueno. That's no bueno. And DHR looks like we're coming back to the roadmap line. RYYA, whatever. RYYA, YYQ, PQS. Yeah, that's retracing. Hmm. 5 or 3. That looks like a 3 to me. Caution to the wind. Oh. Let's see what spot's got. I gotta see this. I'm interested. Target 319. So it's just a small move. This little guy right here. Yeah, 319.19. So that one's potentially gonna hit that. It could go quickly too. Lots of volatility on that one this morning. DJT. Oh, who told you it was going back down? This looks like the bubble chart to me. Dun, dun, dun. Not long, not far to go. Another $10. We can get there. We came up shy back here in April. I mean, it's the pattern. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what the devil they're doing with the company. This sure does look like we're going to head right down here. After this, we can do whatever, but probably it may do this. It may make, who knows what, who knows what pattern we take to get there. But eventually, probably coming down here. I mean, we're not going back in time, but unless you know how to go back to the future. But probably coming down there. WGO. Winnebago. Goose and I talked about this one. I thought we might break down, and I mean, we kind of peaked out back here. Been corrective. I think we're going to get a flush lower than this right here. It may not go lower than this back here, but we may go lower than that right there. That was a pretty vicious low here. 3-wave move up, though, so it very well could go lower than this. It very well could. That'd be pretty wicked for Winnebago, but it very well could go lower than this. Everybody see that, right? Like that 3, 1, 2, 3. This has just been messing around. That's all corrective nastiness. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. And Solar Edge. Whew. Man, how low can she go? Wow, talk about a fall from graces, right? Yeah, just what, a year ago? Yeah, just a year ago we were at 300, and now we're at 30. Wow. Wow. Be careful. Can they go out of business? Yeah, you betcha. I mean, we're actually pushing a lower low than here. Could go make a new low back down below 10. Wow. Not far now. I mean, yeah, just another 60% down. No big deal. $20. Jazz Pharmaceutical. These guys have commercials. That's where I know that name from. Biotech Pharma, be careful. That's a giant downtrend. I mean, that's... So if all these drugs are getting so much more expensive and they're making record profit, why are all these pharmaceuticals look like crap? You tell me. SBIT, ultra short Bitcoin, popping today while Bitcoin is dropping. This was dropping while Bitcoin is popping, but it's coming back strong. Watch for a little pop. But if Bitcoin's going on an epic rally, this is going to plummet eventually. Be careful. We broke the uptrend of down lows, the uptrend of downs, the uptrend of lows. We broke down through that. And I don't believe we're done to the downside yet, so be careful. STM. Well, that's a big downtrend. Reached the target on the upside and then parked. So these are a semiconductor. Why aren't these rocking and rolling? So it's not all rosy in semiconductors. That just seems to be status quo, humming along. Not rocking and rolling and may break lower. All right, that's the list for the day. Bias for the day is cautionary highs. We're going to rally on up. Oh, there's 5,500. I knew we'd get it. There it is. There. I was going to be disappointed if we didn't get 5,500. There we go. Can we get 50? Can we get 6,000? That's the big question at this point. Can we rock and roll up to 6,000? Not far in the futures. 500 points to go. I think we can see it. Honestly, I think we can see it. And yeah, like Dave said, give me a thumbs up if anything I said was helpful, beneficial, something you never heard somewhere else before. I appreciate it. Even if it was something else you heard before said a different way, that's cool too. Give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Doesn't matter. Whichever way you want to go. Share with somebody you think might like it, and I'll be back tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel.